How are you?
All good, all good. How are things with you?
Okay, yeah. I mean, just trying to figure out how to deal with this lockdown. Yeah, still. Great. So
Uh,
what we'll do is Sharon will talk about. So let's just talk about because this creator series is about people I'm talking to. Let's talk about you. What do you do? Tell us what do you do? Where you from? I understand you live in Bombay.
yeah.
Uh, and tell us what do you do? And I think you started a company of your own, right? Uh, what does that do? And how long have you been doing it?
My content agency I started 2.5 years ago. There's a company I launched 3 days back.
Right.
That's into organizational development, which offers both HR and marketing.
You started a company like 3 days back right now.
Yeah, it's turned out to be great for us because the whole point of the company is to help other companies figure out their processes, handling, management, resources, all of that. So I have a partner with me on this. So she has 17 years of experience in organizational development. So it's worked great for us in terms of clients because there are a lot of people who don't know what to do post the lockdown or what to do during the lockdown. Like, do you pay people? Do you not pay people? How does the entire layout work? Government policies. So we recently released a free ebook, which is basically on understanding what are the safety measures you need to take post Corona in your respective organizations.
Okay, okay, all right. So tell us, like, take me through your story. So what have you been doing earlier? How did you start your own company? What are you doing earlier?
Yeah, so I was working in the spatial perception world. So basically, just while I was in my last year of college, I started my internship with a company called Dimension Energy, which was
Hmm,
into virtual reality. So I
hmm,
did that for 2 years, grew there as a content writer, then as a marketer, all of that. And post that, after 2 years, I thought it was time to grow, it was time to move out. So I, quit the company. But when I came out, I'm like, I was 21 back then, so I was like, it's fine, I'll chill for a bit. And post that, I started doing freelancing projects because I write a lot. So I
right.
started freelancing projects, and it just kept growing. And people were like, okay, now we need invoices and we need a system. So I'm like, okay, I have to put this in place.
Okay,
So I got my company registered. So
right.
it has all been a journey through the clients itself. Like, there is, I feel I have learned a lot
Hmm,
in field than actually taking educational courses or doing like a proper MBA or something like that.
hmm, hmm. Okay. So you started freelance writing and then you started on your own company. Where did you start freelance writing from? LinkedIn?
No, I found out the power of LinkedIn quite later in life. Actually, I started with a small website called I think it was Internshala or Intern Theory, I don't remember. But I got freelance projects from there, and it was like a distance of 5 minutes from my house. So I'm like, what better could it be? Like, I have to go once, just do a meeting with a person. And
Yeah.
it just all came to naturally in terms of projects. It grew from, word of mouth. So, in fact, 2.5 years of a content agency which mainly does marketing for other companies, we
Hmm.
never did any marketing. The
Okay.
only reason we started doing marketing now is because we have the time. So we are
Right.
like, okay, let's just focus on our own marketing as well, because now is the time to do something like this because everyone's online. So there's a lot of scope of telling people what do you do, how do you do it, all of that.
Hmm. Hmm. So what all this you run two companies right now?
Yes,
Okay. One is into organization development or helping companies to deal with their HR policies right now.
yes, yes.
The other is into content. And how many employees do you guys have?
For the content writing company, we'll just focus on that because the other one is pretty new.
Hmm.
So for the content agency, I have a team of 9 people. It's fairly lean because what happens in the content space is you cannot have one content person write all your articles because we work with a lot of different niches. So we prefer having a team that is, very lean, and then project to project we sort of approach our team to write on certain topics. So we have an editor, we have a senior editor, and then content writers keep changing.
Okay. No, these are freelancers or are these full-time people on
These
you?
are full-time employees. These are full-time employees.
Okay. Okay. Great. And what else do you do besides anything else besides that? I mean, this seems like a lot of work already. And you
Uh,
have you. This
yes,
seems like a lot of work.
busy, but I have partnered with a production house, so I do scripts for them.
Okay.
So we write scripts. I do social media marketing as well. That is something I'm closely associated with. So my major times when all this hassle is not there. Currently, I have a lot of time on hand to focus on this because there are no shoots. Because
Hmm.
when we have shoots, I have to be there at the shoot, so which takes very time consuming.
Right.
So that is another part of life.
Right, because I think being in Bombay it helps because there are a lot of production houses and there's a lot of writing required for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there are a lot of need for scripts, and I closely work with this production team. So we do a lot more than just scripts. Like that production team offers social media as well.
Hmm.
It's called EBC Productions, and we recently participated in India Film Project.
Hmm.
So that was a big festival for us. So out of 2000 films, 16 films won, one of which
Right.
was us. So that was like a 50-hour journey of no sleep. That was the
Right.
competition. 50 hours of writing and shooting, and that was one of the craziest experiences of life.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Wow. So what keeps you going? So tell me, why do you do all these things? And out of all the things that you do, what makes you the happiest?
Uh, I I don't kind of quantify it as per that. One thing that I decided when I quit my previous job was I will do things that keep me happy and motivated. And work is something that I have passionately felt about because I'm a very growth oriented person. So when I see these companies growing, it kind of gives another different high, compared to other things. So it's not that I don't want to change the world or I don't want to do this and that, but it's also first starting with yourself, like what is it that you're looking for from life. So
Hmm.
I know that working in different, I cannot just stick to one thing. If I stick to one thing, I'm going to go absolutely crazy. So I
Hmm.
keep doing these 3 or 4 different things, and I don't need a vacation. So a vacation is needed when you're doing something monotonous throughout the year or throughout the month. But if I'm doing like 4 different things, which has 4 different teams, 4 different arenas to it, then there's no vacation. You just go from one place to another, and it's just a happy thing in itself.
Right, right. Great. That sounds great because a lot of people actually struggle to figure out how should they go about writing, how should they go about their work, right? So what do you want to tell them? Considering you run a couple of companies, you are actually employing a bunch of people. So what do you want to tell people who are struggling to figure out what should they do with their life?
Okay, so one is you need to first figure out, do you actually want to do too many things?
Right.
Because to be very honest, when you're doing 3 or 4 things, your growth is not that fast as something. If I quit everything and just focus on my content company, I know I can, double X the growth and take it to another level. But that
Hmm.
is the choice I have made. So I am not
Hmm.
regretting any of it. So you
Hmm.
need to first accept it that you cannot have a million followers in everything. You
Hmm.
first figure out and be okay with the fact that your growth is going to go slow. But if at the end of the day that is making you happy in terms of doing different things, that is your call. But I think a lot of people suggested me and in general suggest that you shouldn't do a lot of things. It kind of diverts your attention, all of that. But I think everyone can do their own life choices. So if I evaluate my life and I say, hey, you know what, 4 different things give me more happiness than just doing one thing continuously, which will
Hmm.
lead me to burnout. I rather do these 4 different things and have a smaller growth. And second is because age has always been a big factor where people don't take you seriously, especially when you're doing something in terms of organizational development or even in running an agency. Because so I am currently 23 and I
Hmm.
have employees who are elder to me as well.
Yeah.
I've had employees in the past as well who are, way above 30. And so it gets a little difficult even for them to sometimes sort of curb and say, okay, I'm going to listen to you. Your decision is final.
Right.
So that is one. And people who are trying to figure out things, I suggest take some time off, take 3 months, 6 months, and do all the things that you want to. Because today I feel launching businesses is easy compared to
Right.
earlier, where you can experiment a lot. And especially, I started back at a very young age, so
Yeah.
that has always been a great factor for me. And I
Yeah.
don't see it in terms of just money, 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 growth, growth, growth. It's also when at the end of the day when I'm sleeping, am I happier from yesterday or right from. So that is something I always aim at.
Yeah, that's brilliant because at 23 you've started one company, then you started another one, and you're actually employing people at an age where people are still struggling to figure out. So, do you plan to go for an MBA or something, because you don't
No,
need one anymore?
so I have had my bittersweet relationship with education. I graduated from with English literature, and I did my masters. The university lost my papers, all of that. So I have done
Oh,
years of masters, and I don't have a degree. So I'm like, okay, that is it. I am
ah,
done with that. Also, I think there is no competition when it comes to in-field experience. When you're on the field doing the things, because whatever I have experienced in running a company, I have read so many books, so many articles, I have spoken to so many people. I do these online courses, I have spoken to mentors, met so many people, network of youth CHROs. But at the end of the day, there is no similar problem. You cannot teach me what I have to do. It's
mm,
just not possible. I have faced situations where some people don't have answers because something like that has never happened before. That
mm,
is something I notice in a company all the time is you cannot have definite situations, you cannot learn from definite things. You have to go out there, and when it comes, you have to face it.
right.
So something like a coronavirus would never be taught in an MBA school. What do you do
Yes.
when there's a virus and everybody's sitting at home? That is never taught. But now when I know, I have been in the industry for so many years, I know how people think. I know what are they going to do their next step. Like so many
Mm,
people told me, launching a company in this crisis is the worst idea, but it has worked out great. We are closing 3 clients.
mm.
So that is something which I feel is a lot of in-field experience, and you cannot get it in terms of education. No judgments on people who are doing MBAs, but I also feel that what I've learned and what I think in life is definitely what I have learned on the field directly.
Yeah, I'm sure because a lot of because I mean you've already gained 3 clients with this new company now. You're already running a content. Is there an office you run from? Do you this the entire team
Yeah,
works from home?
we work out of Chromium in Powai.
Okay, you have an office there where the content marketing agency runs from.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant, brilliant, great. I think you already. I don't think you need an MBA because in fact in MBA school they don't even teach you how to start businesses or run businesses. They teach you largely how to figure out how to become a part of businesses and run a specific function, so to say, mostly.
That's true. I feel what education system does is puts in a lot of uniformity, which
Yeah,
I'm completely against because you listen to something and then your mind is sort of processed and programmed in that format, and then it
right.
gets really difficult to break out of it. I feel one of my biggest fears is that
Sorry.
since I've brought up in a middle class family, I have, that is a thought process that is always fed into that
Hmm,
you pass out of college, do your masters, get a good job, get married, get settled, sort of that lineage, which I have
hmm,
broken right from the beginning. So
hmm,
that takes, in fact, a lot of courage and a lot of mind strength, is what I believe. I feel that was the biggest challenge to overcome, where
hmm,
you go over this. A mediocre lifestyle and be like, no, I want to do this. Because if
right.
how do you get an inspiration when nobody has? I had a hard time figuring out how to get my company registered. I tripped, I fell, I did a lot of research. A lot of mentors, in fact, have been very helpful. LinkedIn people offer free advice. They're like, hey,
Right.
I'll help you because I see potential in you. So that is what people who are starting new things should do. Even if anybody's watching this video who needs help in starting a company, in growing into content writing, they can always reach out to me. I have helped people sort of progress in their careers because somebody did it to me, and I'm sort of returning back the favor. So
Yeah.
that is what is very challenging in terms of getting over your mindset, is what I think is not taught in any schools. In fact, it's always uniformity and following a certain order, following certain things. Even when I feel about business schools, what they do is what has already been done. How do we experiment? How do we learn new things? How do we sort of fail and
Right.
learn new things?
But was your family supportive of it when you decided to start the company instead of looking for a job for yourself?
So I've been a rebel child for a very long time, and my entire family, not just my parents, even my parents, sisters and brothers, and everybody's into teaching. So
Hmm.
it was as soon as I was born, it was decided I'll be a teacher. And then I went to Xavier's. Actually, that changed my life tremendously as a college, because I met new people. It was far away from home. I say in Andheri, that's, in town. I learned traveling. I learned new people. That's the thing about learning. You should have an initiative. Don't ever wait for people to you and say
Right.
do this
Yeah.
or do that. It's
Yeah.
always that you have to take an initiative and say, hey, what is this? So I've been very curious. My father had instilled that in me. Always keep questioning things. I think he still regrets that because I'm still questioning everything he has taught me. So it's always keep questioning things, keep learning. That's when I started, and my parents didn't have any idea for a very long time as to what I do, because nobody had heard of content writing.
Right.
The first time, I remember this very distinctly, when I received money from internship in writing, my father was so surprised. He asked me 2 or 3 times, are you sure? Like, is this a legit thing? Like, are they sending you money from a company account? Are you sure about this? So I think that was very funny to see, and that was very surprising, because that is when I realized, okay, I've gone really far from where my family is.
Right.
So,
Right. Great. Awesome.
they didn't know for a very long time what I did. Now I think they have a fairly good idea.
Yeah. Now you're running a company. In fact, employing people. This is great, Sharon. So great talking to you. Let's stay in touch. I'll have your number. You have mine. And I'll use this video. I'll hopefully post it up and I'll send you the link.
Yeah, also if anybody wants to connect in terms of more writing tips or something, I would be free to do an on call or sort of help them, because that's what I want to do.
Yeah, brilliant. That's brilliant. Because in fact, I keep looking for scripts to write, but since I'm based in Delhi, there's not much production houses here or something. So in case there's something that you need my help on, do reach out to me.
Yeah, sure. That would be great. We can always connect. I have your number.
Okay, great, Sharon. Congratulations on
Okay,
doing
bye.
so much at your time.
Thank
Brilliant,
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really
Bye.
sweet talk. Bye.